Hello, a very good afternoon to you, and welcome to Ladies Panel on Orient Television, Channel 59. Of course, you can join us also on Star Times 113. My name is Nena, EJIMOFOR, your anchor person, and today we have a guest. Well, we should have had guests, but some of them are not here this hour, and so we have a guest here sitting with us to talk about today's topic, which is ladies and rape. Yes, ladies and rape. What is it about? Why is it so? We have a lot of dastardly acts that go on in the society. This is not just one, but this is just one we want to treat today, ladies and rape. And so, to that effect, we have somebody in the studio, Susan MADU. She is from the health sector. Most appropriate to talk about what people go through when such issues come to them in the hospitals and whatever else. A very experienced person in the health sector. And we say welcome to you, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And so, as I earlier already have said, today's topic is on rape. So, Susan, can you tell us what is rape?
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity, to enlighten the public. First of all, thank you. We're talking about rape. And, from the word, you see that rape is a type of sexual assault, which is usually unlawful and without consent, mostly carried out forcibly against a person's will. And most times, it could also be for someone who is underage, not someone who is also not mentally stable to take decisions, or someone who is unconscious, or an act carried out of deception. So in essence, we are saying that it is done without due consent.
Okay. So when a person is raped is when you are into that act without a permission of the lady. That's what you mean by consent.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we want to ask you, when can a lady say she is raped? Because, oftentimes we see people or we hear ladies, they come up with they're being raped, but in the actual sense of it, when you go into the questioning aspect of it, unfortunately, the lawyer who's supposed to be here to highlight on that area a little bit is not here. She couldn't make it. They find out in the courtrooms and elsewhere, even in the village gatherings, that she's not raped. So can you throw light on that? Or when can a lady say she is raped and you prove it and she's raped? What do they say? How do they say that they are raped and really they are raped?
Okay. There are some other things you check. Most times people think rape is only when you force somebody. It can also be without force. Especially, like I said, when it is without due consent, or possibly there's a threat to the person's life. When somebody, when someone is unconscious and then possibly taken advantage of, when someone is not mentally okay or not mentally stable and is also taken advantage of, when somebody is underaged, age of consent usually in this setting is 18 and above. When someone is underaged also, whether you law the person and you say the person accepts, it is also not, right. And also, some people are even drugged. So when a lady can say she's raped, what we say is, if in any case someone falls a victim of such, one, when during reporting, don't take your breaths, don't change your clothes, just report as you are. Because sometimes people wait until after the incident is past, and then they come up after some days, months, and say they are raped. Do you understand? So at such times, legally they may tell you there's no evidence, because that's where the challenge comes. And we are in a society where people are kind of victimized when they they are victims already, but when they come out to say it, there's this stigma on them. So
okay, we'll get to that.
Yes.
Are you saying that when a lady is raped, as soon as she gets up from the act, she should run like that, not having bath? Because I heard you mention don't take your bath.
Yes.
Don't wait till the next day.
Yes.
So medically, if she's raped, she should go from that spot where she gets up and goes to, where is the best place to go to at this juncture when she has just gotten up, realizing that she's being raped? Where is the best possible point of call?
Well, one, I would say, from medical aspects, you can report at the hospital and get examined. The full history is taken. Then from there, possibly to police reports, and and then this is information.
Yeah.
Getting a lawyer involved. A legal person must actually be involved.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so she goes straight to the hospital on her own accord and says, "Doctor, I'm here to see you because I am raped." How do you handle?
It's a very dicey situation. I hope you know that.
Yes, of course. As dicey as it is, that's why we're bringing it to the awareness of people. Because I didn't know that.
Yes.
That once you get up from the act, you go straight to show yourself, and which is very good because that's evidential.
Yes.
Yes, because when you have washed off everything,
yes,
they start and check whether there's a penetration or something like that. Then they say yes, you are raped, and if not, they will say, well, you have already washed up. There's no way we can actually ascertain if she's raped or not.
Okay.
And by that, probably she had washed up, and it becomes difficult to do a proper investigation on her. Is that what you are telling us?
Yes. Then okay. Another thing there is, if such a person has a trusted person, who you can rely on or fall back on.
Okay.
Do you understand? You can go to that person and seek for help. These days, we also have organizations, human rights activist organizations, that help individuals who have been sexually harassed. So, and we can find them, but first it has to do with having the knowledge, like we said. If you can get a lawyer, if you can go to the hospital, if you can get a trusted person, just be sure to report it immediately. And the reason why I said go the way you are is because there will be traces of evidence. If any normal person, who has actually given consent to the acts, will not willingly want to come out and say, look at what has been done to me.
Okay.
Do you understand? But someone that has been raped, there will be this psychological trauma. There will be this disturbance, and what do I do? So, and it's high time we let people know that you don't keep silent, because the long-term effect is more terrible when you want to keep silent and hold it than when you come up and report. When you come up and report, one, you can have access to physical therapy and also psychological therapy. And that will help the person come out of it. You also have the opportunity to be examined. There will be traces. If someone has penetrated, possibly there will still be some traces of sperm. There could be traces of torn clothes. There could be traces of, the roughness, bruises, the roughness, the struggling, and everything. So there would definitely be evidence.
Okay. Well, in case you're just joining us, this is Ladies Panel, and we're talking about rape and ladies in our society. Most times, often than not, people claim they are raped or they are not raped. But these, from this program, you would ascertain when you are really, truly raped without unnecessarily victimizing anybody. Because some ladies, they go in, and much later, when things don't go the way they want it or what they expect didn't come their way, they come up with they are raped. Are there issues like that, Ms. Susan?
Well, we wouldn't rule that out, but also there are also cases where people have been raped, and at that point they didn't report because they don't know where to start from, and possibly they are also scared. There must have been a threat to their life. Like I was reading up on a story And a little girl who is now a grown-up woman, reported that she started being sexually assaulted from, before 6 years old, and by her nanny. It doesn't matter who does it, whether a male or a female.
Yes.
Yeah. So her nanny usually, forces her and engages her in oral sex.
Okay.
And she couldn't tell her parents because she keeps threatening her. And that once when she was tired and she said she was going to report, that she almost lost her life because the nanny took a pot of hot water and poured on her.
See what we're talking about?
Yes.
Anyway, Susan,
so unfortunately, she had to lie to the parents that it was an accident.
Okay.
And she was also scared of not speaking further.
We'll get to that because that's another version to this that falls into child abuse and things like that. But for now, let's focus on this issue today of rape. Now, is it actionable?
Of course it is. Of course, I really wish the lawyer is here. She would have really done justice to that. But it is. It is because if followed appropriately and proved, the person involved, the man. Yes, whether the man or the offender, the perpetrator of the act should actually go in for, that should be about 14 years imprisonment.
14 years?
Yes, okay. If proved guilty.
If proven guilty. Okay.
Yes.
Now, victims do not wish to speak out when things like this happen. Ladies don't like speaking out, especially in this part of the world. I'm sure you're aware of what I'm talking about.
Very well.
They don't like to speak out. So is there any, what is the reason behind that? What could be? Because if you hurt me in any manner, in any form, I'm willing to go tell that, this is what happened to me, and it's this person that did it to me, and I'm not about to let go. But you find out this is a deeper hurt than ordinarily, hurting somebody. And we're talking about sometimes it's even taking away the virginity of the person, and you keep quiet. I wonder, what goes on in their minds or their heads when things like this happen. So can you throw light on that? What is the cause for keeping quiet? Okay,
to this, there are different sides to it. First of all, like I said, there could be a threat to the person's life. Okay. Exactly. So if the person has been threatened, if you dare speak out, you'll be killed, you'll do this, you'll do that. So when she thinks about, is it better for me to die? Or let me just hold this? Then, secondly, you could also look at the environment, the culture we have today. Anything that happens, the blame falls back on the female side. Whether she goes to the police station,
the blame goes to the female.
Yes, the person that has been assaulted.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. Most times you see that person being judged instead of the issue being looked into critically.
Yes.
The person will be judged. Are you sure it's not even the way you dressed? Like somebody said, she went to the police to report after being raped, and then the police turned the case against her. Are you sure you were properly dressed? Some of these girls, you don't dress well. You went to the person's house. Things like that. Or after all, you went to a party. There are different things. So at the end of the day, instead of looking at it, and being able to investigate into the matter without sentiments, most times the judgment falls back on the lady. And then there's this stigma. When people get to know, there's this fear of stigma. People will say, hey, look at that one that has been raped. So, and most people don't want to carry that stigma. They want to hide it. I don't want people to know that I'm a rape victim. Do you understand? But statistics actually shows that most times, 1 out of, some say 5 girls or ladies, some say 1 out of 3 ladies must have experienced some sort of sexual assault before they are 25. So I think it's more on educating the girl child from the beginning and letting them know, you shouldn't be assaulted. You have your human rights. You should grow up healthily. If anyone attempts such a thing on you, report immediately. Most times, before it results into rape, sometimes there would have been steps. Except maybe in cases of...
This would have been taken place,
exactly.
And they give a sort of a go-ahead, systematically, and then when it actually happens. But let me ask you this. You said, earlier when you were talking, you said they don't like to speak out because of the men will turn it around against the female, against the lady. Now, what is the work of the human rights, as you said, and the feeder? We have a feeder, group. In such cases, don't they get involved?
Thank you.
Because it's a man's world, as they say. This part of the country is a man's world. But when things like this come up, it's not only a certain group of people. Everybody is involved.
Thank you.
People get radical about it.
Yes.
It's so radical that even unconcerned citizens will make themselves concerned.
That's true.
So
that's true. I think in this case it is about highlighting those human rights activist groups so that people can know about them. They should also come up, and show themselves. Tell people that they are here to help. Because if people are aware they are there, they will definitely go to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, does it attract charges?
In most cases, no, it shouldn't.
Because why would they not speak out? As I said earlier, I'm hurt. You've done something, so grievous like that, and then they keep quiet. Why would they keep quiet? Perhaps they charge them.
No, I don't think so. I don't think. I'm not a member of any of those organizations, but I don't think they should.
Okay.
The thing is, the cases are not reported, and you can't go to someone that didn't come to you for help. You understand? Okay. They will address those ones they are aware of. That's the essence of awareness. People should be aware.
Now, does it solve the problem by keeping quiet?
No.
Not going out, not reaching out. Does it solve the problem?
No. I think keeping quiet will rather complicate issues. Keeping quiet will rather make the matter worse for the victim. Because like I said, the psychological trauma, the health implications, a lot of other things involved. Okay. Yes, keeping quiet will make the matter worse.
Will make it worse. So in case you're just joining us, this ladies panel on Orange Television, and this guest is Susan MADU, talking about rape and ladies, so that you will know where to go and what to do and all that when such issues come up. All right, now I'm coming back to you now. What consequences? Is there any consequences health-wise?
Of course, there are a lot of consequences to rape. We talk about immediate consequence of let's say the health implication. Are you going to talk about the higher risk for sexually transmitted infections, diseases? Okay. Because someone that is going to be raped, I don't think they would think of any protective mechanism, because there is this act of, I just want to do it. That kind of a thing. So the victim tends to stand a higher risk of getting infected, sexually transmitted disease, and there are a lot of them. So we don't want to even go into start mentioning them. There are a lot of them. And then talk about the physical effect on the body. Yes. There could also be injuries,
Okay.
Yes, pain, and the psychological effects. Trauma. We have long-term effects. There's this study carried out by the North American Menopause Society. That was in October 2018. And they discovered that a large percentage of persons who were involved in rape or were sexually assaulted, had higher incidences for high blood pressure, high triglycerides, and even poor sleep control. They have poor quality sleep because there will also be anxiety. A woman who reportedly was raped some years back was even scared and said she still has anxiety for her daughters. Not even knowing
so many years.
Yes, not knowing how the issue will be addressed. So there are a lot of health implications. People tend to struggle, to live every day. The psychological trauma, you don't want to trust anybody. You don't even know where you are, thinking you're safe. Depression. Yes, high risk for suicide. So the implications are much.
Okay, so it can actually affect a lady, you know, in marital world, because if she's traumatized that long, even to the extent of extending it to her children, which means she's, in fact, she's living with it.
She's living with it. That's the essence of, you see, physical and psychological therapy, because it can be dealt with. And that's why we talk about reporting, because when a person comes up or a matter is known, then it can be handled. Oh, this person has gone through this. There are stages of rehabilitation.
Okay.
You understand? We
yes,
know.
I
Okay.
was going to come to that.
Okay.
Ask you, you know.
Okay.
But I want to know, for now, what I want to know is, does it affect their marital lives? Because in this part of the world, I know we don't see rape as it is seen in most advanced countries.
Okay.
You know. When you talk about having effects on them in the area of stigmatization, does it affect them when they want to get married? Do you think so?
The answer can be yes, and the answer can be no. But in most cases, yes. I said so because if it has not been taken care of, or perhaps the person is facing stigmatization, somebody may be coming to marry the person, and people around, or when environment is not changed, if she's still within the environment where the incidents happened, no matter how many years, you know, people are like, you just say, is that somebody can even corner the guy? Do you know that girl was actually raped? She's a rape victim. Don't even go and look for somebody else. Do you know? And you know, men are different types.
Yes.
If the lady has not opened up and said, look at what I have experienced in my lifetime, that's the essence of being open in courtship, or you understand, when you want to go into marriage. If the man already knows, he could like, thank you very much for your information, and he moves on. But if he doesn't know, he will feel, this is a valid information. It's like, this lady is hiding something from me. And before you know it, he will just change.
Yeah.
Perhaps stop calling, perhaps just find his way, and the lady will be wondering what went wrong.
What happened? Because here in our society, you know, you will always want to ask. The men will always want to ask, what has been happening with her? What's the family like? This, that. And from there, if they get to know, it can affect the marriage. So it can actually affect the girl. So is there any form of rehabilitation, you know, that the health sector can institute for such a person in the case where it is established that this person is raped and that person, you know, is that person is treated, she's normal now, but of course you can't remove the stigma or the traumatization. So is there any kind of rehabilitation, you know, that can be given to this person?
Sure, yes. Not even just that can be instituted. I think there are already such on ground.
Okay.
Yes, psychological, you know, counseling, rehabilitation, yes, that will help the person come out of that situation and also live a normal life. I know that, okay, you've fallen victim to this, but that's not the end of life. In fact, your experience, you can use it to come up and help others. You know, you can use it, turn it into the positive and teach others what to do to avoid such, instead of deciding to live with it and become depressed. So there are psychological therapies that can be given by experts to help such persons come out of it.
Okay, so, you know, oftentimes we say things and we say, yes, this ministry is doing that, this, you know, not to witch hunt anybody, but is there any place that you can now mention where people can receive such counseling here in our own city?
In Owerri?
Yes.
Okay, well...
Because rape goes on everywhere. It's not designed for any particular city or state. So in case of Owerri, as we are here now, you know, we're our hometown, is there any place, you know, for such counseling?
Yes.
So that the people can be aware. I think that's part of the essence of this program.
Yes. Actually, like I said, if one reports to the hospital and it is ascertained, you will not just be left that way. After receiving the medical treatment, you also have psychological therapists to go along with it. Okay. Then I also know of my team. I coordinate a team, the nursing research team. Okay. And in the past, we've been to secondary schools in Imo State, across the different zones, Okigwe, Owerri, Olum, all the zones. We went to different secondary schools, and we had to educate them sex education awareness among secondary school students. So in such cases, we had people who, we gave counseling sessions to. So if there are people like that and they also come to us, I'm sure we can also render our help to them as well.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the group called?
Nursing Research Team.
Nursing Research Team.
Yes, please.
Is there in nowhere?
Yes, we have nurses, from various health institutions across the states.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. In case you're watching us and just joining us, you have heard. And in case you are a victim, we don't pray for you to be a victim. I don't pray to be a victim, and so I don't wish you that either. But where you find yourself, or somebody or somebody who knows somebody, know it today that you have every right to report the injustice done unto you or your sister or your neighbor, as the case may be, in good time. Of course, you have already know that you didn't need to wash. Like in the past, you wash and then get dressed even in another clean clothes before you go as you appear. It's evidential that way. You go like that, don't wash, and so that the justice will be administered to you. And of course, the nurses are there. They have a team here in Owen, here in FMC, where they can give you a proper attention, counseling, so that you can carry on. You know what they say, every woman has got a story behind. So you got your own story to be in this form. Do not waste time.
And you can also give them our contact so that they can reach us.
Yourself, okay? And we thank you for joining up on this program.
How do they contact us if they need?
Okay, how do they contact you? Is there any number they can reach out to?
Sure.
Okay, can you give the number out? Call the number out.
080
Okay.
6719 7502.
Okay.
Can I call it again?
Yes,
I think
call
I have
it again,
about 3
please.
numbers I can call for them.
Yes.
080
Yeah.
6719 7502.
Okay.
Yes.
You got it all. In
They
case.
can also call this other number.
Okay, alternative number.
Yes,
All
081
081
82
82
36
36
14
14
89.
89.
Again,
081
081 82
Okay. Go ahead.
36
36
14
14
89.
89.
Yes.
All right, very well then. You had it all. These numbers can help you reach out the team that can give you counseling if you find yourself in such situation, and you will of course get attention and live on. All right, not living by it every day, reminding yourself or even attempting to take your life away simply because you didn't reach out to people who can help you and make sure that you start to live a normal life again. And of course, you, the rapist, you have heard that it's 14 years imprisonment. This is not questionable. It's a fact. They didn't see you to make the law. The law is there. Am I correct? 14 years?
Sure.
Okay, 14 years imprisonment. So the guy, you be careful. You're hereby warned. And on this note, we've come to the end of today's topic.
I think the boys too needs to be health educated.
Okay, all right. With me here is Susan MADU. We thank you very much. Thank you, Susan, for joining this program. You've done a very big justice to it.
Thank
and
you.
I must tell you, thank you. Thank you
welcome.
for stopping by. Thank you for doing justice to the program. My name is Nena Ejmofor, and we'll do this again. Thank you for joining us. Many thanks to my DP, Ngozi Iheme, and my DG, Sir James Ebuchilam. Thank you, viewer. We do this again. Remember, Ladies Panel comes on Tuesdays by 1 p.m. every afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.